Yeah, because everybody looks at me now and they're like, "Holy shit, what happened to Smo?" And I'm like, "Bro, I've been gradually losing this weight for like a decade."
Yeah, I remember when people were like, "Oh, like it was probably about 2 years ago." Everybody's like, "What happened? Smoke turned into a meth head." What blah blah. I'm like, dude, he's been. I remember when you started talking about it, so I
Yeah,
watched you like get slowly lose the weight, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Where y'all been?
I've been open about this for so long, like my entire journey, and that's what I try to tell people. It's like, man, this is all I talk about. I don't understand how you have not seen it. That's how I know that I've been put into some like category of like, where it's something weird that gets through the fucking holes. What was it the other day?
Well, hey, that shirt that you're wearing right there, that man right there is gonna change that shit because he's
Yeah,
pushing
no,
that to the
absolutely
forefront.
no.
We
My
were just
wife
talking
was
about this. Go ahead, man.
my wife was just telling me earlier that like already since Trump has been in office, like my friends on my what was it, my Facebook have gone up. Like every platform, my numbers are starting to go up, and she believes it's like it has to do with new administration allowing more things to be out there and seen.
Definitely.
You
Well,
know,
that's one thing we were talking about on our conspiracy night last night. We gotta get you in on one of those sometime too, man. We do those a couple nights a week. But
I'm
I
game.
was talking about how it used to be if you talked about anything negative about vaccines or GMOs or anything like that, you got fucking blocked, banned, and canceled.
You're out.
Joe Rogan was the only one that could kind of get through it, and I pay attention to what Joe Rogan does because if he don't make a whole episode focused on one thing, he just drops little bits and pieces of a bunch of bullshit everywhere, so they can't be like Joe Rogan's riding against vaccines.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? He talks about it for 5 minutes, moves on to something
He
else, and they
peppers
touch
them in.
back on it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like I
you're
try to do that too, but we were just talking about last night. I was like, man, 6 months ago we started talking about some vaccine shit. 6 months ago we got flagged and banned for that shit.
yeah,
Like
and I'm sure
the
it's
whole
probably
paradigm's changing, dude. It's wild.
it's definitely like whenever I stopped drinking and whenever I stopped advocating for my old lifestyle, like my numbers started to dwindle. And then, of course, when I decided to go plant based in 2020, it was like this crazy divide. Like, you're not country if you don't eat meat, was what I was being told. Like, I was just being told that, like, you're not country if you don't eat meat. And I was like, well, I'm just like, I don't want to be sick anymore. I
I
need
feel
to.
like that's super narrow minded. I mean, if you moved to
Facts.
California and started drinking Starbucks and going plant based and fucking, you know what I mean, you lived in San Francisco, I'd say, fuck yeah, you're not country anymore. But if the only thing in your life that changed is you quit eating meat, that's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Isn't it
Right.
ridiculous? Like, to the point where it's like, like I got really hated on for a long time because I wanted to get healthier. And like it was an instant thing for me. Like whenever I went plant-based, 3 days after I went plant-based, I felt so good that I couldn't go back. Like I just couldn't. I felt that good. So imagine like being paralyzed, right? Like being literally imagine being paralyzed and then being able to walk. And it's like, well, if you want to get back in that chair, you can go back to what you were doing. You're like, fuck that. I'm not getting back in that chair.
Fuck yeah.
Like, no, what have I
Yeah.
got to do? Drink celery juice? Fucking sign me up. Like, fuck that. So I'm drinking celery juice. And I'm like, it's really not that bad. Like, it's just like anything else. Like, you get used to it and then you fucking enjoy it. Now, like, every day I love drinking celery juice, but like, it's a hard thing, but like drinking celery juice also cured like five of my diseases, my problems that I had. Like it cleared up my skin that I've suffered with my entire life. Like I no longer have
So,
psoriasis or eczema.
so can I ask you something? Because this is something that I'm working on is changing my diet, but I got a different approach to it. So I'm super against processed foods, and like obviously I intend to have a more plant-based diet, but I still plan to include meat, but I'm going to get my beef from my friends that grow their own cows organically, grass-fed cows. I know there's no antibiotics, no bullshit, and I'm gonna shoot my own deer, and that's it. That's what I'm gonna eat. You know what I mean? So like what I'm trying to ask you is Do you think it had? You said like a lot of your diseases you had went away as soon as you started drinking celery juice. You think it had something to do with like you cutting out all that processed shit? Like maybe the processed shit was causing those diseases. You know
You
what I
know
mean?
what? I cut out a lot at one time. So it's hard for me to know exactly what it was individually because I didn't stop eating processed foods when I went plant-based because I had to depend on plant-based processed foods at first.
So you can make your own.
Yeah, until I could make my own shit. So like I was in the first year, man, I was eating like the Gardein and the Impossible stuff in order
But
to
how? I guess how heavily like that's probably not as chemical laden. So when I say processed, I think of like all the shit that they're filling full of preservatives. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like some pizza rolls and some bullshit like
yeah,
that.
all of that. When I stopped eating all that, like I instantly felt better, but I stopped drinking milk, I stopped eating cheese, I stopped eating eggs,
Damn. Okay.
like that's vegan. Like I went full vegan
Yeah.
all at once. And it was because I watched a documentary. I watched a documentary. I'd just come home from
Hey,
I'd just come home from a duck hunt, right?
them fuckers can change your life. That's for sure.
Fucking
Look,
A right.
saved my life completely, bro. Like gave me a whole new life that I never knew that I would have. Like it's unreal how good I feel. I run 5 miles almost every morning.
So, do you think that plant based is for everyone, or do you think it just works really well for you and it can work well for a lot of people? Because, like, you're rocking the RFK shirt, but RFK isn't vegan. He just promotes healthy meat eating, like,
Yeah.
promotes not eating the bullshit.
And I think like overall that's what I wouldn't tell anybody that they need to go vegan. I went vegan because I was addicted to I was addicted to meat. Like I ate cow, pig, chicken, 3 times a day. You know what I'm saying? I didn't discriminate. Is somebody getting arrested?
They're coming for me, man.
That's
That's a.
We're gonna mute obsolete. Holy
bro.
shit.
I
I
don't
was gonna
want to
say
like
that's the
keep.
sounds of Lawton around here, buddy.
I
They
don't want to.
Hey, they heard us talking about all the chemicals and food and shit. We ain't allowed to talk
They're
about that on
coming down
YouTube.
on us hardcore, bro. I didn't know. Look, he is in Oklahoma. It's because we said vaccine. They're in Medicine
facts,
Park, bro.
facts.
Yeah, remember he's in Lawton. Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
what was we talking about? I'm so sorry. I didn't. Them sirens.
No, you're good. We're talking about. I was just wondering, like, I saw
Oh,
someone in the comments said something about, different shit works better for different people. Like they tried plant based and ended up going back to just organic, grass fed meat. But
yeah.
that's what I was just wondering. You know, what I mean, because that's one thing that I've seen a lot of commentary on when you push this, and like I'm all for what you're pushing, even though I'm never gonna go plant based. I don't see that ever happening. I'm trying to have a healthier diet and only eat organic meat that
Well,
either
here's
I shoot the deer or get it from my buddies type of thing. But a lot of people want to be like, fuck you, I'm not going vegan, fuck Big Smoke because he wants me to be a vegan. And I don't feel like you're pushing that. I feel like you're saying, hey guys, this is what worked for me and this could work for you.
well, it's really for people that are sick and are looking for help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is more about people that wake up every morning and they are fucking sad and they are depressed because they don't have control over their life. And it's not a drug, it's food. Like
It's a lot
food
of mental shit too.
food is a real addiction, man.
Yeah,
I
big
have
time.
seen food addiction. I have experienced food addiction. It's a real thing. It's no different than meth. It's no different than cocaine. You have to respect it as an addiction because it's real.
Hmm.
If you don't believe me, just like let's ask everybody in the
I've had
chat.
food addiction. I've had
Well,
a food addiction, man. I know exactly what you're talking about.
well, you say
Especially
that.
when I was in jail, dude. Like I did a county year and like I couldn't smoke weed, nothing like that. You know what I mean? And I gained probably fucking 80 pounds
So you
doing
said that you
like
couldn't go. You said you couldn't go plant based. Have you ever tried to not eat, let's say, cheese?
yes.
Okay.
I'm not a big dairy person at all, actually. So
Well,
I
have
don't
you
drink
ever?
milk at all. I don't drink milk at all. The only milk intake I get is if it's in something like you know what I mean?
Well, have you ever tried to not eat meat?
Yes.
Okay.
I think because I have such a, and I know you're going to be like, well, I run 5 miles a day, but I don't
No,
know. It might just be different. But I feel like because I have an active lifestyle, like when I tried not eating meat, I had a lot of really bad muscle cramps and I didn't necessarily feel low energy, but my physical energy wasn't there. But I did feel like I had more focus. I did recognize that.
yeah, I would say
So,
that there's definitely like a time period that has to take place to where your body has to adjust to it. You know what I'm saying?
well,
Like I'm
that's
at
the thing too. Like I was working a full-time construction job trying to quit eating meat. So it just didn't fucking work.
yeah,
You know what
and
I
I'm in
mean?
like year 5. So like it wasn't easy at first. And like I said, the first year I had to eat kind of fucked up the junk food, vegan junk food, but then we wound up going whole food plant-based and we did gluten-free, oil-free. So now we don't eat any uh processed foods. Everything's like whole food, and then we cook it. We were doing raw for a really long time. We do a lot of juicing and we drink a lot of smoothies. And of course, like this inspired us to open up our own food truck. And then now, of course, we have our own business, Smolicious, which we're about to be in our second year of having that business. So like this isn't just like a lifestyle for us. It's become like,
Yeah.
no, it's our mission. It's like it's basically like our ministry to health. So like this Make America Healthy Again, like I've already been doing this.